Hey there folks, and welcome back for another video. And today we're going to use the LEA shaving stick. This is a product out of Spain, and we are going to continue on with our Mergress versus Rockwell 6S comparison. This will be on setting 2. So continuing on in that series. Also, going to use a brand new SOC. Yes, we will use a Boar. Yes, I will probably be rusty. No worries, the shave will still be phenomenal. Okay, let's talk a little bit about I guess it's called LEA. It's a product from Spain. This is 1.76 ounces. Usually runs between $5 and $6, so I'll call it $5.50 for this shave stick. It's about $3.12-ish an ounce. The scent on it, it's just a nice soap smelling scent as far as I can tell. It does come in its own plastic container. It has a little ventilation there, which I like. This is a nice touch. I wish all shave sticks would come in a form factor like this where they have their own protective case. So without further ado, let's wet the face and get going. Stay tuned. All right, so we're going to use our shave stick here, and we will try to get a good load on because being rusty with Boar, that is not going to help. Boar is not going to help my situation. Using a type of soap that I rarely use being shave sticks. I don't know why I don't use them because they really are quite good. And if you want to pick up more soap, go against the grain. You can see as I'm going against the grain there, see how it picks it up better. If you go this way, it'll work, but going against the grain is really the ticket. It gets dry after a while, so just keep going. Just want to make sure I get plenty enough soap to generate a lather with, and who knows what that is because I don't use shave sticks all that often. But again, there's really no reason not to because they do work quite well, and we're going to see how our Boar goes after I rinse my hands here because you get that on your hands and it is quite slick. So let's wet our Boar here and see how we do. This is not even close to broken in. I would tell you that right now. It's going to take a while. One thing about this particular brush, the SOC, they are commonly sold from vendors at like $45. You don't need to pay that. I'm here. One of my charges, I believe, is to tell you about great value, right? Because I want you to be able to stretch to $1. So these, if you get them on eBay from Portugal, or sometimes even on Amazon, they're like $25. It's $20 cheaper than a lot of the vendors sell them for. The Cherry SOC Boar, that's Smoke Owners Club. So keep that in mind. You don't have to pay $45 for it. In fact, I wouldn't. There's no reason to. The prices are down. You can see there's a lost hair, which is, again, very common with natural hair brushes. Anyway, excuse me. Don't pay $45 for this brush, right? Get it on eBay or Amazon, like $25. Save $20, folks. And that is what we're here to do. Make sure you get a good, or make sure you can stretch your dollar whenever I possibly can. Can't do that all the time, but to the extent I can, I'm going to point you to good deals or great deals, hopefully. Okay, this lather is not fantastic, but it's adequate, so we'll go with it. I'm not going to have any problems shaving, but it's not a beautiful lather to look at by any stretch. All right, let's start with our Rockwell side. Let's switch it up today. So today I will use the Mergress on setting 2 on this side, and I'll use the Rockwell on this side of my face. Setting 2, and that feels nice. That feels, I can already tell, I like setting 2 more than I did setting 1. And that's to be expected because, it's a little more aggression there. And again, we're going to go all the way through these different settings. 6 plates, or 6 settings on the Rockwell. 3 plates, 2 2 numbers per side. And we'll go 6 adjustments on the Mergress. All right, let's use the Rockwell on too. Yeah, that feels nice too. Really nice. I have to tell you, I'm far more impressed by this razor than I ever thought I would be, honestly. That feels nice. That's a setting that's sort of in between. I don't think I've experienced quite this exact feel. It's funny because it feels efficient, but also still completely safe. And when I mean safe, I mean forgiving. Let's put it that way. That's a really nice setting there on too. Okay, let's rinse the face, come back, feel around, and see how it went. Stay tuned. All right, so let's see how that felt. Now today, it feels more like the Rockwell was a little more efficient. Not that it matters, because again, we got 2 more passes to go through, but just on pass 1, it feels like the Rockwell did a little better. And I'm going to go ahead and just reapply, because I'm almost positive I didn't get enough lather in that brush to make it through 3 passes. So we'll just go ahead and reapply. Folks, despite what people tell you or what you hear, it's not a crime to revisit the puck. It is not a crime to revisit the puck. So revisit as necessary. Don't power through something when it's not right. All right, so the inspector for Nicola was telling me the other day, he was watching a video, and a fellow who was shaving, and he was like on shave 7 with a regular safety razor blade, which, that's pushing it, even for people with mild beards. Anyway, he said, the fellow said, well, it's tugging a little bit, but I'm just going to power through it. My advice to you is do not do that. You will, at some point or another, pay the price if you tempt fate in that fashion. Change the blade, even if it's in the middle of the shave. If something's not right, don't be afraid to change it, even in the middle of the shave. Don't push on just for the sake of pushing on. That is my advice, because the problem with something like that is if it's a new person, they're liable to try the same thing, and then they say, man, this wet shaving sucks, but yeah, you've used the blade 7 or 8 times, and we only use it, most people, 3 or 4 times at the most. So anyway, that's not a criticism of who made the video, because he didn't mention who it was, but I just wanted to let you know that it's okay to change up in the middle of a shave. If your face has burning from the soap, change it out. Wash it off your face. Do not defeat the purpose of wet shaving to begin with, which is to really enjoy your shave, to have fun with the shave, to relax, to spend, this 15 to 30 minutes of zen, Don't ruin it by pushing, There's no point in that. Don't do it. That's my advice to you. Now, that said, it's your razors, your soap, your blades, and you can do whatever you like. But my general recommendation is don't push it. Do not tempt fate, because if you do, you're liable to find out it wasn't the right choice to make. All right, here we go on setting 2. Quick note. Yesterday I made that feels nice, by the way. Soap is a nice residual slickness there. Yesterday I made a live video in the razor and brush, and it was about Douglas Smythe had made some comments about politics not being in wet shaving, and it aroused my passion and my ire also to a certain extent, and I spoke on it pointedly. And then after I did it, because I didn't know if he watched the video, I told him what I said in the video. And then eventually we ended up talking on the phone, because I said, let me call you and I'll tell you the way I feel. And I told him exactly the way I felt about everything, from that video on to any other grievances that I may or may not have had. And he did the same with me. And at the end of that time, we sort of agreed that we were both unburdened. We don't have to carry that around anymore. So I do not carry around any animus. I'm for Douglas Mike. And I don't agree with everything he does or everything he has done, nor will he agree with everything that I do or will do. But there is no ongoing feud or anything like that. We pretty much got it all out on the table. And for me, I'm a person who, once that is done, I'm done with it. Okay, moving on. You know, so there's no more animus. And I clipped myself a little bit right there with this Rockwell, and I knew when I did it because I could feel my face. This is no fault of the razor at all. That was me talking and not paying attention, but that felt really good with the Rockwell. Again, I'm really pleased with the Rockwell. Let's rinse face, and we'll feel how that second pass went. All right, so let's see how pass 2 went. Progress side versus Rockwell side. They're getting very close to the same now. And again, you know, that progressive beard reduction, reducing a little bit of the time, and they're much closer on that second pass. The Rockwell on 2, I still think I feel a little less remaining stubble, but my guess is at the end of 3 passes, it's probably going to end up in the same place as I did in pass 1. They sort of come out even. All right, let me wet my face just a little bit here, so we'll have enough moisture to. Now I could pull this lather up over here, but let's just add a little bit more. Again, correct on the fly as needed. No crime. No crime at all. Okay, that should be enough. Don't really need much, but I do need a little bit of water. And there we go. We'll work it up here. One thing that tends to happen on some of these brushes like this is lather goes down to the bottom like that. That's a really silky type lather at the bottom, but there's not a heck of a lot of it. And this particular brush is known by many as a lather hog. I think it's a great brush once it's broken in. And again, me being absolutely rusty does not help the situation when it comes to natural hair brushes. Busted's right. I've lost my mojo with natural hair because I don't use them enough. And it's one of the things that you have to become proficient with and then sort of stay with, you know. Because your technique really, you don't even recognize that it does, but it changes based on what you use regularly. And if you use synthetics, you can lather in your sleep, you know. You use natural hair, it requires a little more finesse. And this is not good. So let's not roll with that. Let's not roll with that. Let's see if we can get a little more lather off this stick, which I may not even be doing. Maybe I'll add a little bit to the brush here. See if that works. Sometimes, folks, when things aren't going as planned, just continue to remediate that situation as necessary. And I'm starting to look like Busta with lather all over the place, all over my hand. What a mess. But we press on, and we will whip this up to at least a decent lather. There we go. A little bit better, a little bit better. Probably need to add a little water. Yeah, we'll get it at least to the adequate level. It does require a little more work. You see this running down here? That's what I really want to get to. And it's running down to the bottom of my neck in Busta fashion, I meant to say. Okay, so we have resolved our problem there. And we will have a lather that will be more than adequate. This soap is a decent soap. Does it blow my socks off? No. But is it good? Yeah, it's a good little soap. Good little stick. If you're trying shave sticks, I definitely try it. The scent is, to me, not remarkable. It just sort of smells like just like a soap, you know, like a bath soap or something. It's not remarkable. By the way, we're on our third pass on my Mergress side, and it has felt really nice throughout, as has the Rockwell side. So I've had a very nice shave here today, despite the natural hair woes, but we will continue to press on with natural hair even through my struggles, because they represent, I think, a significant value that's really underappreciated. And this is why I'm bringing it to you, because Boar is underappreciated in my view. Far less expensive than Badger, performs at the same level, at least in my estimation. Okay, Rockwell side on 2. In terms of the way these feel on setting 2, I really like the way the Rockwell feels on setting 2. I don't know, I feel a little more blade on my face, perhaps. Just overall, it feels nice. And look at those weepers I got today. That's unusual for me. So that's me trying to do a bunch of stuff at one time, not paying attention, but we will remedy that as well. Don't worry. No problem there. Probably just cut myself again right there. Falling to pieces, folks. Busta has struck. Getting weepers. Lord, the bad juju Busta sent has found its way home. Look at these weepers. Wow. Unusual, but I will say, really have enjoyed the way it felt. Look, if you get weepers like this, you can't say it's the greatest of shaves. But no fault of the razors, right? That's on me for blabbing too much, not paying attention. All right, let's rinse the face and we'll come back. Stay tuned. All right, so let's see how we did. Well, folks, once again, it came out about even. I preferred the feel of the Rockwell this time just about throughout. It just felt right to me on setting 2, but both ended up doing a very good job. I did get a couple of weepers due to my own, ineffectiveness as a shaver, but we're going to use a little alum block here to sort of remedy that situation before we put on our witch hazel and or aftershave. I don't use alum regularly. I don't really need to. Some people use it as part of their daily routine. I'm only using it today because I did get a couple of weepers. Again, I want to emphasize, no fault of these razors, because the shave felt actually quite nice. But you can't claim you had a top level shave if you got weepers. However, you can remedy that, which I'm doing now, and we'll rinse that off, and then we'll come back with our magic made by witches. Stay tuned. All right, and in comes the magic made by witches, and today is a really good day for Thayer's because of its healing properties and antiseptic with those weepers. It will help with that situation. Doesn't help close them up, but it'll just help make sure, the clean, and that aloe and all the rest helps your skin. So there is that. All right. I loved both razors on setting 2. I preferred slightly the feel of the Rockwell. I felt on passes 1 and 2 it was more efficient, but it came out about the same, just like in our first shootout. The Mergress, again, was quite good as well. Really, it was nice with both razors. SOC, we failed, but actually we didn't fail. We failed initially, but we persevered, and we ended up getting it done. We had to go back to the stick and remediate that situation, but that's okay, folks. Don't push through it with a crappy lather. Go back to the puck, do what you need to do. That's my advice for you. Today we're gonna go old school on aftershave. This is not as old school as it could be because this bottle is not glass. I wish it were glass. This thing doesn't have much of a restrictor on it. You could pour half a bottle of this with no time flat, so be careful if you pick up a skin bracer. I use this, it doesn't hang around. I use it simply because it reminds me of my dad. He used to use skin bracer when I was growing up. It came in a metal bottle. Do you guys remember that commercial? Or some of you will remember, those of you who are old enough, like a skin bracer and go, by Menon. Well, still by Menon. All right, thanks as always, folks, for joining me. I hope to see you again soon. I'm going to continue bringing this hopefully great content for you guys. I've gotten a lot of positive response on the comparison videos. We'll continue to roll with that. Keep in mind, branding change. The new email is ilather.com, chris@ilather.com rather, chris@ilather.com. That information will be in the notes below and at the end of the video. If you have questions or comments, shoot them to me there. Again, I don't see the YouTube comments. If you want to contact me, email is the way to go. Thanks as always for watching. You guys have a wonderful Saturday.